Me na say Emma wo akwaba Express GHTV sunni yen ma ready say ye ba besua ade no ye ba besua ade e wo ha so ate ase said nam tamakro e komodi bi akwa abranche bi ye free ye say friend Sami ba Ike was your ambition be so bit my lawyer wa ba be di komo bi and na obi a ambition to become a lawyer no wo di komo wo say wo hwe wo basis eye ayesa ye no bi so with the same ambition ye do betena se ne ye educate wa ma wate no ma ba ko mienu miensa bi ase os I was say what ase field bi a opese wo kokoye biribi na was say what field na say udi ho nkoma wadi ama na yeye said nam tamakro ehun nkoma aba no kre ba akopɛ me personally ebi wa menya report ni bi enkan ye emom the lawyers for the Ghana for the nkrofo bi ka ebi na ye de ebremo. Now the question is, according to mmara no e kire say maame no ondi sika bia onye hwe eya hunhuna na na omodi hunhuna no because he discharge obi na say san so man sa acquittance na kire say ipa kro no kra na asem ne yentimi mfa ndibio me say na me be di president na mpese me koni nsem a ye pa kire say sa asem ye twam ya delete afiri ho eni fa so eni docketim eno na ye pese ye kire yentie report we mra na Jessica panto ansem so enfamra.
You see, we have a Globe TV, so they see newscaster. Then they on the kind news. Monja the echo.
The Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Akorotenga Aine, has defended the High Court conviction of former Microfinance and Small Loans Center Sh0ck Chief Executive Officer Sedina Tamaklo Atieno, maintaining that the judgment was sound despite being overturned by the Court of Appeal. Now, speaking at the Government Accountability Series on Thursday, the 30th of July, the Attorney General disclosed that he has instructed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file an application for a stay of execution pending an appeal to the Supreme Court. Now, he said his office remains convinced that the High Court, decision was legally justified and intends to challenge the Court of Appeal's ruling before the Apex Court.
The Court of Appeal issued a decision unanimously acquitting and discharging Sedina Atieno Tamaklo, who was convicted of various offenses in absentia because, she was standing trial, and in the course of the trial, she sought permission to travel abroad for medical reasons and then remain in the United States for the rest of the trial. The trial court convicted her of the offenses charged, and then an appeal was filed by her lawyers in May 2024. I want this to be made abundantly clear that it was my predecessor who filed the appeal. However, coming into office, I reviewed what was filed, and I directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file opposing the appeal, because we believe that the High Court judgment had merit. Now, with this judgment, I've also directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file a notice of appeal and apply for stay of execution, meaning that if the stay is granted, the status quo will prevail until such a time that the Supreme Court has had time to review the appeal and then made a determination. So that is all that I can say for now. I have a soft copy of the judgment. I'm yet to peruse it and then come to a firm conclusion as to what will be our grounds of appeal. But I want to emphasize.
Emphasizing in an kakra. Now, Lady Biababedi, His Excellency the President Mahama Tem, Babedi Sankomono, he has sent a warning and they are more respect people. Now, I don't say about Babedi Komo because minim say duli wakaduli or better just about the defense because Ghana phobia or mentality say political party where a political party even if some more ya de ye was so finding ways and means to be no be defended. It will be a person that will be a law. Already law be a lawyer.
As a student of the game, and a student may try say mishamra, trying my best, say I will learn and become a very good student of the law. and become probably a lawyer in the near
Mami can no crenchero. First person who did can ball law degree yeah lawyer and when a chairman a be lawyer. Lawyer a wonipa dream. Bible say na emre na ekwawie no what the ade na ba beto ye na adwem ni yakomam. So what you say it law ye will be our call school akọ read the law. And so what trans say na wo submitted words din komo bia me court kotie nsem bebre. Lawyer bi kura submissions in ya wa bone. Imashia lawyer bi a me ni din komo ye din komo wie man fa me case am no. Cause me carry na adwene na ekuta na adwene ni sha for that case. It's for you to sell fees, sell by that's nothing to do with the Ghana fulfilling their cost of my women says here. A man in income.
future. Adie Bakwa mastered the first. The fundamental human rights. I don't mastered the first. One thing American is here and say. The Court of Appeal in the Sedinam case. Me the man for me brave me video me yen no panel. A man for me brave backlash me. You are this, you are that, you are hypocrite, you are this. Mami can say me show. The Court of Appeal ne wo ho to check the High Courts. The High Court to make a decision. Be no more for that is why the Court of Appeal is there. That is why the Supreme Court is there. If the Court of Appeal is a mistake, the Supreme Court is there to correct them. In the Sedinam Tamaklo case, Court of Appeal established a unlawful trial. Unlawful trial, no, a breach of the Constitution and a breach of fundamental human rights. And that's what I'm going to say. And they want to make an appeal. So want to me appeal no no. The Court of Appeal early ruling bende. No catch Ghana for say.
Yeah. Mo ye Ghana phobia mo ye nyatwon papa. Wunim nhyehyeye sikatua ekoso. Ansa na Ghana fo atimi aye sua no my stradati nipa bi fra America. Se wo mra ma ye mebu naten e wo Ghana. Wunim ekwanya America fo no fa so stradati ye nua be ma butirika di free ha koye. Eti nyina so be no mu gina so de extradite ni no man because I was say unya evidence beyond everything. Unya strong evidence proving to those people no on crofona kodwane ato omukuru mo say ipa kro we dem from so awaye ne bone awaye ne de mo nja no ama na mama ya medina sema emwa that means ukuta wo evidence ameka no krenchiro no parking. Say obi akọ parking baby wrongly class woni police for no mu prosecuting sem no mo twe no me because ansem bi edi ni 1 year eti ma me free abrochire bayi enuru 2 months mpo enuru 1 month yes ye jano manonko wonim say ba sa ye judicial system no question mark ba ho because nkrophobia shase edi nkomo adentia and your from that angle. Mami we. Wo dia wo si wonim no, me dia me nim ni pa. Me kai sa mami we ya ndi sini. O ka say ye che actors for bi mo. Eka, excuse me. Edru so ne ye be je sa car no before be jeje. Adentia, sika wo say aka ekọ because of that car no. Mami na nko bunkunta odi. Mami we, wa di sika papa. O mo ankasa ya we. Court and the court is different from the executive, which is a president ni nkrofo ni ade na branti abedi nkomo bi or disrespect Akufo-Addo ebema na ya we say Mahama is not different from Akufo-Addo. They are the same.
Timi was tried unlawfully. I was saying ne jai won timi. I was say jano. Because a fundamental human right. The fact is that who no feel se nipa na di bone and now who susu se and now sentimentally ya was say bia nipa na di bone, it doesn't incriminate the person. There are right procedures why they try nipa. Now my can say me jam. More of say comment in the main kind. My can say 2024. Akufo-Addo was in a haste to jail Sedinam.
Bro, you can't be a lawyer. Me catch you praying. Kopeba nchefu bi do. Why? Say in your mind, you think say President Akufo-Addo is in a haste to judge Sedinam Tamaklo dia. Nene Mahama also is in a haste to acquittance and discharge that Mamenusu case. You know, you can't say how better as here there. And he say Akufo-Addo the dabe na Akufo-Addo be sha say ye adwuma e wo high court. Dabe no sha say ye adwuma wo high court. judicial service no ye anybody foforo no so ye na adwuma an executive but when say one kasa na wa be confirm ya kire yen say ene sa adwuma no Ghana form penifo eto abayi wo say president asa be gi court na adwuma na ye etu be kasa judge Zuma si justice like na mete ho na mum na president Mahama na say president Akufo na te mum na wo di masam e na wa yi manim akata nanim yes na pesa wo kire as obi a wo say wo read the law wo say who the difference between sa no ma we nyina who Akufo ado so dey na they wo you think say maame no ND born ND Ghana ska ye di sika ma 2000 Ghana cedi fa koto no mambra wo di akoto drink di akoto no ma ni nyina bo mu 2000 Ghana cedi u receipt enie wo di aba e di adanse se ampa bibia prices wo ye betuma trezi ade no ye bejeriu Akufo ado was in haste that time no sa maame no kwa na ye NDC ni aye di sika she ni sama ni ye adwuma hey bro munye careful why boy maji say mu defend it mo ye nuoma bi but my main control they have fuck up if you think say that war ambition to become a lawyer near the ade you need to learn well I was say osun ade ni ye lawyer anya brofo e adwene da wutrim say you obi an ekoko to kofa lawyer so to me kan asem deep in bafie ai osnokure ni kutawe kutaw me makane ha mekane biom se mekene ofori ata bibie no betima ka kire me se from so bia ni no bibie ni ho cause ofi se from so ni wo mra me face ai wo lawyers na oba be face nsem no wutimi prove wo ho a hwan na betimi di watum sani esa na ka obi achichiro obi atum sani aka Akufo ado mokra na di kan dam kane enye sa na ye no sani aka MPP and this by akoma chem MPP fo pen wonim krofo ska for mu nsem o de ye adwuma okroma eto da bia moma yenyi politics ento baby na ye face the fact why it is a wadwene mu no demo na wudi san ko na mu se okra wonim nyansan wo se metie wasem ko anim se Akufo ado ho hale se opese o jeri maame no how Akufo ado ye judge ene de Akufo ado ye adwuma o high court masa ope banchiafu bi na do na sana wadwene to become a leader or say a lawyer or say whatever ope banchiafu bi na do na lady we mani anje ni submissions na komo ho masa uma yefa ni die ma de ni die se no
ama kwasea panin onso ama wo Gyimi no ada die ama wiase nyina hu onso mu kaw na wo ye no wa wiase nyina hu se wo ye Gyimifuo what president way ana Ghana for so mo pe ha be ma wanyini guran na adwene na da aso dementia asiafo wasia mamu se de se nkola kura betimi abubio sabi ayi kura so won faso che wo bam okatachie onim nyansa ekura che Mahama bam asiafo edoka vintela kokot ese nensem no ayi we no ya warrant no ayi nyina so bia ni munti no ya bo atu agu se mu botugu a mo nyayi obane nam Ghana ho am yahwe na BBC a eye mo se ajejes no ka mo ni man ka mo de ni kosie mo ma ni
mutimi bie mu anu di panyina tem na mo ovimo ati why obe subscribe ya like ya share comment e be share bi makra bye bye